What's going on, world? Welcome to my podcast. It's Just Different with Ty, where I talk about sports, social, political issues, you name it, everything under the sun. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and please leave comments in the section below. If you got anything you want me to talk about, or if you want to come on here and have a debate with me, I may entertain it pending what it is. But if you come on here, you better make sure you know what you're talking about, because I ain't going to play no games with you, all right? That said, man, Shannon Sharpe, he says some real disrespectful things, or what I perceive to be disrespectful, about Russell Wilson. We're going to talk about it because I'm going to call him out on the biased stuff, man, that he be doing. So let's get to it.
Welcome to It's Just Different with your host, Ty.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer, Denver Broncos, one of the greatest tight ends of all time, has some real harsh things to say about Russell Wilson. I'm going to read it off what he says. I'm going to talk about other things as well to bring context to it, you know. But he said some things that I didn't like. A lot of people probably agree with it, given where, the record of the Denver Broncos. They might agree with it, but I don't, because it's one thing to talk about a player's performance. It's another when you start questioning the character of a player, and that's what he's doing. I felt that's what he's doing with Russell Wilson. So this is what Shannon Sharpe had to say about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson wants to be famous more than he wants to be a good football player. The players inside that locker room don't like him. He has not earned their respect. He think he's better than they are, and they sense it. Let me read that again, man. I'm gonna let that soak in with y'all. This is Shannon Sharpe, all right? He was on Undisputed, Hall of Famer, tight end. I'm going to read off what he said again. Russell Wilson wants to be famous more than he wants to be a good football player. The players inside that locker room don't like him. He has not earned their respect. He think he's better than they are, and they sensed it. Break down here. I got my notes. You know that I keep my notes with me. But I want to talk about the Denver Broncos first before I go into that quote. I'm going to get back to that quote. Denver Broncos, as it stands, their record is 4-11. Now you could say a lot of that has to do with Russell Wilson. You could say don't, whatever. Who knows? You could put the blame on the coaching, you could put the blame on the player, whatever. Denver Broncos. Let's start with their defense. Okay. So Denver Broncos, their Patrice Sultan, the cornerback, he's going to be a Pro Bowl. So they do have a Pro Bowl type player on their defensive team, right? Says the Broncos had 13 interceptions. And they said from the power rankings, again, it's the power rankings. I don't know if it's true, but the power rankings have them as one of the top 3 defensive teams in the power rankings. I don't know. If this is wrong, somebody please correct me. I've never even seen a game this year of the Denver Broncos, let alone, I haven't even seen 5 minutes of them. So I have no idea. They are not, I don't know nothing about the Denver Broncos, and it says that out of 32 teams, they're one of the top defensive teams. And something about, I guess, early in the season, they did something in history where no team has ever allowed 9 yards per completion over the course of a season, and the Broncos allowed just only 8.5 yards per completion. And this was through mid-November. I don't know. We're about to go in January in the next 2 days, so I don't know. January 2023. So I don't know where they stand at now. So this is their defensive scheme. So the defense, if this is accurate, their defense seems pretty good. Top notch, actually. Now, Let's talk about the offense. Okay? Offense. Out of 32 teams in the NFL, Denver is ranked 23rd. So they're basically only better than like 8 other teams offensive wise, right? Now, you could say, "Oh, that's Russell Wilson." You could blame that on him, right? Okay. Their offensive line is ranked 17th. So right in the middle, but bottom half, bottom low, they're offensive. Is that Russell Wilson's fault? Could it be possible that maybe the offensive line is not, blocking long enough for him to pass the ball? Like I don't know. Blocking good enough for the running backs to find open lanes, and again, I don't know. Anybody who's a football head who watches the Denver Broncos on a daily basis, some of my friends are, I know, you can comment and let me know if this is true or not. I have no idea. I'm only going by what the numbers say when I looked. Okay. Now, supposedly, what's his name? Latavius Murray. If I'm saying his name wrong, please forgive me. It says that he is like their leading running back, and he has about 5 touchdowns in 15 games. And so far, he has 601 yards. Is that Russell Wilson's fault? This is what I saw. It says 601 yards. Now, if there's other running backs and it's split between them and whatever have you, I know nothing about that. But I'm just looking at as far as he is their starting RB. 15 games. Now, unless he got hurt, I don't know nothing about. He could only play 3 games. I don't know. I got to put that in perspective too, all right? So I'm just only going by the 15 games. He could have came from another team and halfway in the season, and so all that, I'm counting all that. All that is all possible. They're all plausible things that could have happened that I have no idea. I'm just talking about 601 yards through 15 games. Special teams, from what I see, because that's team sport. Can't be on one player. Special teams. They're right in the lower half, like middle again, like 17, 18, lower half. That's what I see. Special teams. Now, you could get on Russell Wilson for throwing only like 12 touchdowns, which for a player of his caliber, Hall of Famer, who I feel is a Hall of Famer, that cannot happen. That cannot happen. Yeah, I think he threw over 3,000 yards or something like that, or close to 3,000 yards, but you cannot have only 12 touchdowns in 15 games. That cannot happen. And 9 interceptions. That cannot happen. That's on you. He has to hold that. I agree. But in the big scheme of things, we have to look at the whole team. And then we got to look at the coaching as well, because coaching does matter. In any sport, especially professional, coaching matters. You have to put competent people in certain positions that know what they're doing to get the best out of their players to be able to succeed. That sometimes it's not talked about enough in a game of sports. So that's just the stats part. Now I'm going to get into the whole Shannon Sharpe thing. Russell Wilson wants to be famous more than he wants to be a good football player. How do you know this, Shannon Sharpe? How do you know this to be true? Did you actually have a talk with that man, Russell Wilson, to find out where his head is? Did he actually say to you, yo, man, I'm worried about doing this movie or getting these commercials, man. Forget that. All right, my bag is secured. And I understand someone that signed like a $240-something million deal, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So yeah, Russ, listen, you sign that deal, people are expecting big things. I understand that, but I'm not going to make it look like all the blame is on him. It's not. It's never. Not in a team sport. It's never on one person. It's never. It's impossible. But how do you know that this man wants to be more, be famous more than he wants to be a good football player? Do you have any type of evidence of him not working out? Do you have any type of evidence of him not putting in the work? Do you have any evidence of any of that? If you have it, please share it with us. I would love to hear it. I don't want to go by no he say, she say, and I can't say, but someone on the team told me. I'm not going off of that. We're grown. I'm not going off that. I need to know, where does this thinking come for you to say that? Where does this come from? What evidence do you have to say that? You could say, yeah, he's playing bad. But I just think because who he is, and I don't know Russell Wilson personally, but because his wife is Sierra, she's a celebrity, and he's seen at other different galas and events, the presumption is now he doesn't care. As if you're an athlete, you can't multitask. Like, he has to sit there and just think basketball, football all day, every day, and I guess you want some type of emotion out. You want him crying and punching people. I don't know, but because he is he's a public figure, and again, he was a public figure probably before Sierra, but now that only enhanced it. So now it seems like you have an issue with that. Like, you only want football players to just be strictly football, only seen at a football event, doing this, doing that, and anything. They can't have a life outside of that. That's what it seems like. And I remember again, I don't know why I'm bringing him in, but I have to, just to show. I remember when LeBron James came to the Lakers. And I remember your co-host, Skip Bayless, saying, he doesn't want to play. He don't want to play no more. He's in La La Land. He's in Lakers. He's worried about doing movies. He's doing movies now. And you defended LeBron James to the end, and still do. And as you should. Because LeBron James does care. But Skip was saying, no. He just only cares about his movies now, his career, And you was like, yo, why can't you do both? You could do both. You could do it. And that's the same thing. Maybe it's a personal thing because you played for the Denver Broncos. So it's personal for you. So maybe you're not looking at it from that aspect. I don't know. And then it said the players inside that locker room don't like him. You may have knowledge to that because, again, you're Shannon Sharpe. You're connected to the organization. A lot of current and retired NFL players respect you and talk to you. That is true. But if you're going to say something like that, right? If you're going to get on there and if you're going to say something like that, I'm old school. The way how I am, if you can't put no name on it, don't say it. Don't even say, yeah, the players don't like him. If you just saying, well, I ain't talk to nobody, I just assume, and that's how I feel, and that's one thing. Then you need to be more clear with that. But if you on there and say, yo, the players don't like him, and then you saying, well, I talked to one or two players, I'm not going to say their names, that's sucker stuff. We are all grown men. Where I come from, if somebody got an issue with somebody say, or somebody come to me and say, yo, Ty, this, or someone who I'm teammates with or real cool with or whatever have you, saying this, nah, hold on. Homie said this, and I'm going to come over here, and approach the dude and say, yo, why you say, that's how you do it. Put a name to it. Put a name to it, Shannon. Don't do that. Well, this person, and I ain't going to say no, Nick. Come on, nah. Because how do we know what you saying is actually authentic? You could just be saying that. People do that all the time. I don't know you personally, but people do that all the time. You need to put a name on it. To say something like that the players inside that locker room don't like him, you need to put some names on that. And then they need to stand on it and say, yeah, I said it. Or what you could have done was, if you felt, if this is only if people actually said something to you, right? You could have said, yo, let's see if I can get you and Russell to talk and see where the breakdown is. And that's, so y'all can try to communicate. Y'all don't got to be best friends, but while y'all on the team, y'all got to have some type of, camaraderie, respect, and get the job done. And don't let the emotions get involved, because that could mess up the goal. That's what an OG is supposed to do. And I don't know if you did that. I don't know, but there ain't no evidence. Like I said, there's no evidence you did it. There's no evidence at all to suggest you did that. If a current football player for the Denver Broncos told you they didn't like Russell Wilson, that's what an OG is supposed to do. Come on, man. Come on. And then the last thing, he think he's better than they are, and they sense it. How does he think he's better? Did Russell Wilson actually say to you, hey, I'm better than the rest of those guys on the team? I'm better than them. That is the $1 million question I want to ask Shannon Sharpe. For Shannon Sharpe to say that, he said that Russell Wilson think he's better than they are, and they sense that. So he's saying that Russell Wilson think he's better than his teammates. I would like to know, Shannon Sharpe, how do you know that? Did Russell Wilson himself tell you that? I don't want to hear, that's what I think. It might be, I'm not sure, or football, or one of his teammates said that, and that's what they know. How do you know this man said that, or he thinks that? Why? All that does is cause more, more like problems. That's all it does. He think he's better. That's all that it does. You're an OG. You supposed to be an OG, Shannon. You supposed to be like, yo, how we can bring this together? Let's stop all this. You've been doing too much lately, man, and I don't know what's going on with you and what's the motive to this. Maybe you don't want Russell there. Maybe you felt that money he got, he shouldn't have deserved. Maybe you feel him being in the spotlight and going to events and galas and different things like that with his wife. Maybe you feel like he's not focused. He don't care. He can't have, as a football player, he can't have a life outside of football. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. But you got to start coming correct, and you got to start putting some names to some of the things you say. When you say players don't like him, and if you know that a player came to you and said that, then stand 10 toes down and say it. And then try to bring those players together. It's not that I'm a Russell Wilson fan. No, it has nothing to do with that. But I've never seen nothing, and I don't know the man personally, so I'm only going by what I see on TV from him. I've never seen nothing to indicate he think he's better than everybody, or the current players now. I've never seen that. Never seen that from his character. Never. So I just think we got to do better, man. If you know better, do better. All right. So with that, guys, thanks for watching the show. It's Just Different with Ty. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Peace and love.